It's On The Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight we review La Bête, A Life in the Theater, Lombardi, and the Flying Camarasa Brothers. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Two on the Aisle. Good evening. I'm Charles Gross.
And I'm the aforementioned Leslie Hoban Blake.
Yes. Welcome to Two on the Aisle.
Well, it's my intermission for that. Life in the Theater. Again, I must sound like the old lady of the mountain or something. I saw this play in its original version, which was in way back, because it was two actors who are no longer with us, Ellis Rabb, who ran the Lincoln Center Theater for a while, and young Peter Evans, who died much too young, did this play by David Mamet. And I liked it very much then, but I found it to be very sentimental. And I found this one to be hysterically funny. I didn't find anything sentimental at all in the story of the older actor and the younger actor working through both backstage and onstage things that they're doing for 90 minutes as their career paths change. The older actor is at the height of his career when the younger actor meets him for the first time, and then the younger actor slowly but surely goes up the career path as the older actor begins to go down. When I saw it with Rabb and Evans, I remember thinking how sad, how interesting, and you know, this is, and my heart was touched. My heart wasn't touched by this. What is hysterically funny to me is that Patrick Stewart has a sense of humor. Because you don't think of Patrick Stewart, Commander Riker,
Captain Picard.
Captain Picard, thank you, Captain Picard, or even when he did the Scottish play recently, he wasn't notably funny. I did get to meet him once when I was a grad student, and he did card tricks, and he was very funny, but that was many years ago. But on stage, you haven't seen this part of Patrick Stewart before, so I think this is...
Well, in actuality, I've seen this part of Patrick Stewart when he hosted Saturday Night Live. And I think, to an extent, I saw him in A Christmas Carol. He did all the parts of that. And yes, the fun side, like, for example, he mimes taking a drink of water on it. So this isn't the first time I've seen his fun side. This is actually the first time I have seen A Life in the Theater. It's kind of early Mamet. And I think that we have to mention that T.R. Knight is the younger actor in this case, because he's kind of an important person.
Well, there are only two of them.
Well, it's only two of them, but you see the stagehands, like especially when they're doing scenes from shows, which are kind of spoofs or setups of different types of theater. Yeah, I will tell you, there is so much scenery that gets chewed in this show.
Well, there's so much scenery to chew. If you know, the scenery is by Santo Loquasto, so it's good scenery.
Oh, yes.
I found that it could have been an 80-minute show if those scene changes had been faster, but the guys couldn't have gotten in and out of costumes any faster. So.
Right. But there was like one scene, I think, where the one of the stagehands is throwing snow or leaves in it, and to me at that point, I don't know who she was, because I don't think they don't list her, you know, in the cast, but she was as much a part of the play to me as they were, and I was wondering, is that a stagehand or is that an actress? I believe the former.
Did it list? No, it doesn't list anyone. No, it doesn't give any.
You know, to me, Patrick Stewart, I expect a lot from Patrick Stewart, and frankly, since A Christmas Carol, I have been disappointed. Maybe it's because that performance was just so incredible that he hasn't been able to match it, or maybe I'm just expecting more, and I was really expecting more from this play. This is an early Mamet play. It foreshadows a lot of what you'll see. Occasionally has the rat-a-tat dialogue, although not so much, and very little profanity. But to me, I didn't find it funny. I didn't find it heart-tugging. I found it very bland. Now, maybe it was the night that I saw it, but I found it very slow-moving. The actors, you know, T.K.'s career and Stewart's career, it wasn't as clear, at least not to me. And basically, it was a bunch of vignettes. It was a life in the theater. Life can be very dull. I mean, they sit backstage, they talk, they go on stage, they perform. The performances can be interesting, but I didn't feel there was any build. I felt, okay, they're coming now, they're coming here, yes. And there was some chemistry between them, not as strong as I would have liked it. But all in all, I wasn't at all impressed with the play. And I was frankly a little disappointed because, again, I expect a lot from Patrick Stewart, and I so seldom, you know, at times I'm wondering, is he on autopilot tonight? But on the other hand, you could see he was just so happy to be there. He was, he's enjoying himself. He wants to give this tribute to the theater. But
well, see, it's not really a tribute to the theater. That's the whole point. I mean, Mamet is sending up.
I think
no,
it is.
see, okay.
I think it's his Valentine to the theater.
No, and we disagree on that because all the theater that he shows is bad theater. Every piece of theater that they do is a bad play. Every piece that they do is the kind of theater that you and I don't want to have to sit through. Maybe that's the part that got lost
and yet
in the translation.
they made us sit through it anyway.
Yes,
didn't
but
they?
that's the whole point, is to show, because they'd only make us sit through snippets of it. But they do a bad Beckett play on the sea, or they do a bad Coward play when his fly is open. And he does that wonderful the oldest saw in the world, which is an actor on stage who doesn't know what to do and turns the telephone over to somebody else and says, "It's for you." And then what do you do with it?
Yes, and Stewart's wig falls off.
Yes, all the bad things that can happen in the theater. I think this was a pay unto bad theater. I think Mamet was saying there's an awful lot of bad theater out there. But
again, he was loving. He was
He had
like
a
you always hurt
ball.
the one you love. No, I'm talking about Mamet
you
right
mean.
now.
Oh.
I think this was his tribute to them because
well.
the whole point of live theater is that something like this can happen. Otherwise, go watch a movie. It's like when I saw Singing in the Rain years ago on Broadway. Don Correa, who played the Gene Kelly role, was doing his Singing in the Rain dance. His umbrella broke.
Oh.
And he had to somehow get through the number with a broken umbrella. I will tell you, this will never happen to Gene Kelly. But that is the point of live theater, and that's what makes it. It's not that you want something like that to happen. It's just the chance that it is what makes live theater interesting.
Okay, I don't know that this had anything to do with live theater.
I think so.
I think it was just, well,
I think so.
Okay.
But again, not a play I was enjoying.
But
at
you
all.
didn't find Patrick Stewart absolutely amazing?
No,
Excuse me, you didn't let me finish. In
I'm sorry.
Macbeth? It was one of the most astonishing performances of that particular play I've ever seen, and that was so recent. And then they just did it again on PBS. So to say that after the Dickens that you didn't think there was anything. I mean, I didn't like some of the other things he's done. I didn't like his Tempest, but I loved his Macbeth. So I just thought
I wasn't overly enthralled with that.
Well, I just thought he was having fun, and so I did
He
too.
absolutely was, but I wasn't.
Okay.